we've released the unofficial results from early voting in person and by mail. Over 211,000 voters voted early, over 102,000 Democrat, over 109,000 Republican. Today we received about 1147, that's 1,147 calls from our election workers. The majority of calls were related to equipment usage, and the remaining of calls were procedural questions. We've received about 306 calls from the public, with most wanting information about voting locations, the contest on their ballot, and asking where to return their vote by ballot mail. I want to thank every Harris County voter who cast a ballot during today's joint primary election. Your vote started here today by voting for your preferred candidates in the primary election of your choice and helping to shape the November ballot for important federal, state, and local offices. I also want to extend my gratitude to the party chairs for their joint effort to make this election possible. Cindy Siegel of the Republican Party and Mike Dole of the Democratic Party. Lastly, I want to thank the more than 7,000 election workers who dedicated their time to protect the integrity of free and fair elections and who ensure that every Harris County election runs smoothly. We will continue posting unofficial results as they become available. Additional information obviously can be found at harrisvotes.com or calling our hotline at 713-755-6965. Now, we have already released early voting numbers for both political parties. Those reports are separate. What will take place from this point forward is at every single one of our 545 vote centers, judges will begin to shut down their polls, gather all their items, equipment, and materials, and begin to head to one of the 6 rally sites here in Harris County. So there are 6 rally sites which all judges will report to the nearest assigned rally site to bring in their equipment and items, go through the chain of custody process, and throughout the night, we will provide numbers of vote centers, meaning results, throughout the night until we have all unofficial results completed. Again, what happens at Rally is a secured network provides the information that we need to officially tally here at Election Command Center. To tally here at Election Command Center. So we will provide that throughout the night. This is the hurry up and wait game. Right? This is a long night. We are here at the Election Technology Center, which is a smaller footprint compared to NRG. Rally sites are really important because it allows us to expand and give judges the opportunity to go to a closer location versus all coming to one location. You always want to have a backup plan and have many procedures in place to make sure throughout the night we're efficient, we're timely, but most importantly that we're following the law. And so again, we'll continue to process and provide numbers throughout the night and questions throughout the night. I hope the night becomes sooner than later. Are there any questions?
If all the equipment itself is at the rally site, can you just kind of explain what we're seeing back here?
The question is in regards to if all the equipment is going to the rally sites. Can you explain what's happening here? We are at the Election Technology Center, which is considered our election command tonight, but on a day-to-day basis, this is where all the voting equipment is housed, maintained, cleaned, rinsed, and repeated is what we call. It's certain technicalities that we use here. And our election technology warehouse is where the paper is maintained, where our supplies. So it's more than just voting equipment. Every judge has to have envelopes with documents and provisionals and things of that nature. And that's housed here. It's maintained here. We have an incredible crew. I know a lot of people are looking at the county clerk, but there are hundreds of individuals who work in this office full time, working around the clock to prepare for elections. And you're seeing a lot of movement now, but it's going to be a whole lot more movement as the night progresses. And so as judges are reporting to the rally sites, equipment will then be coming here for its final stop.
And what are some of the unique challenges when it comes to counting votes because of the fact that it's a joint primary? Why would that be any different than people voting in different locations in a normal election?
The joint primary doesn't have a difference in the reporting period. If anything, because both parties work together, there are more hands on deck to help shut down the polls and to get those polls reported to. And as a chain of custody as well, one judge can drive, the other one can follow as backup. The challenge with this night is that we live in a large county. It's the third largest county in the nation. It's the largest county in the state of Texas. And the challenge is waiting for every single last vote center to close out their operations, to sign all their paperwork. It is a very specific process that we follow according to Texas election code. And that is, it's what I mentioned. It's the hurry up and wait game, right? We wish we had a magic wand where we could just make results happen, but that's not how it works in any election in the state of Texas. There are processes in place, and what takes time is election judges, again, breaking down that equipment, bringing it to the rally site, which goes through a very specific process, and then we're able to do our part to tally the results. And so a county this large, all I can tell you is if you can drive an hour and a half and still be in Harris County, that tells you right there just how big this county is. The question is around, do I have any idea how many locations still have a line? I don't have it in real time, Jen, but I can tell you the last I saw we had about 3 locations. I don't know. We'll get that information as an update to know whether we really truly have folks still in line at this point.
What is your confidence level considering what took place last year in previous elections with issues with the two-page ballot, a lack of poll workers, harassment issues? How are you feeling this time around?
Yes, the question is in regards to confidence level, in regards to previous elections and challenges that we've experienced. I'll start with paper. The confidence level is at 100%, and this is the reason why. There's a lot of things that I have been able to learn since I have taken elections, since elections has been brought back into the county clerk's office. And one of the very first things we did was look at paper allocations. How can we somehow minimize the amount of paper and the size of the paper in the print vote record? We specifically worked with the Hart vendor to learn of what kind of upgrades or software could be done to minimize that. Over the holidays in December, my team didn't get much of a Christmas holiday preparing for this election. You all should know that. And we did a software upgrade which accounted for 2-column page paper. That ended up becoming a print vote record on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. So it's a huge accomplishment of my team who's worked around the hours to get that done. And you all know Harris County tends to have one of the largest ballots in the state and in the nation. And so 100% confidence there, because not only did we minimize the size of the paper and the print vote record, but our paper allocations were more than enough paper. No voter had to experience any claims or allegations in terms of not having paper to actually vote and print their ballot. I'm trying to remember all pieces.
I'll break just one of it down. 7,000 election workers this time around, you mentioned. Is that an increase from the previous election?
So the question is in regards to 7,000 election workers for this primary. It is an increase. There was an increase in the amount of voting centers, more than we've ever had in Harris County when it comes to primary elections. I believe in 2022 there was a ballpark of 450 vote centers. In 2020 it was a ballpark of 300 or so to 400. Don't quote me on that. I'm giving a range for that reason. I have a lot of numbers in my head, but they're not always exact. And so Senate Bill 924 swiftly helped us learn in the fall as we prepare for primaries that we would have to have at minimum 512 polls. It was 50% of the amount of precincts in our county, and we could not combine but would have to consolidate. So the minimum was 512. Of course, working with both political parties, making sure that we prioritize their requests and needs to the capacity that we could, we ended with 545 in this county. And so when you talk about increasing vote centers, then we also are talking about increasing the amount of election workers who are also working at those polls. So 7,000 by far are more than what we've seen in the past, just based off locations. And as we approach November, I can say this is a nationwide concern, is having enough election workers, those willing to do this civic duty on election day. And so I'll be coming back talking to everyone about how important it is as we lead into future elections this year to get people to be interested in stepping up to serve. So hear this now. This will not be the last time that you hear the county clerk come out and say that we have a request of our community, not just to go vote, not just to get registered, but to be a part of the process and volunteer to work the polls. I think I covered it all, but I'm not really sure. So thank you for the question. Are there any other questions?
Just on the vote counting, so just to kind of walk us through, the machines are brought to the rally site, the information is transmitted through a secure line back here, and then the tabulation is done here at the site.
Well, you might as well just come up to the mic. Yes, the question is in regards to the tallying of votes tonight. So I mentioned earlier, election workers will break down equipment and bring them to their rally site. Once they get to the rally site, the election judge has to go through a secure process, a very step-by-step process to sign all paperwork and custody over back to the county clerk's office and staff. And then through a secured line, the information is transmitted to our rally. I'm not our rally, I'm sorry. Transmitted from their rally here to Election Command, and here at Election Command is where we tally the actual results for you all to see results. Thank you. Are there any other questions? There's another group of individuals that I did not give a shout out to. They are called the Signature Verification Committee and Early Vote and Ballot Board and the Central Count Board. These individuals serve on both sides of the political aisle to make sure that those reports that are coming in throughout the night are accurate, that the numbers match, and that we're very thorough. So again, there are so many checks and balances that are in place, including following the law. And so those individuals have worked very long hours to make sure that we're efficient in our results as well. If there are no other questions, again, harrisvotes.com is where you can get real live updates throughout the night. I have not minced any words. It will take some time. And so we will report and update throughout the night along with our local news networks who are in partnership and will be providing results for the night. Thank you all so very much.